Hi, good morning. It is day 13 and we're still in Taiwan. I hope you can't hear the massive construction going on outside. So hopefully this mic is doing its job. Today I want to talk a little bit about being a freelance designer and about how to say no to a client. I've been talking to a few people about upcoming projects, and I have recently come to the conclusion that one of those groups was not going to be a good fit for me. So I'm a freelance designer and I've done a lot of different types of projects over the years, but I definitely know the projects that I am best suited for. And I also typically, after talking with someone a little bit, can figure out if that type of client is going to be a good fit for me as well. I think it's always really important to focus on finding a mutual fit, because trying to be the designer that someone wants you to be, but you aren't, can be a recipe for disaster. For example, I have done some animation work before, not much, very tiny amount. If a client comes to me and they're looking for someone to do branding that requires a lot of animation work, okay, yeah, I can do the branding stuff. I know a lot about that. I have tons of experience in that area. But the animation, I can do it, but it's definitely a weak point for me. And if they needed that work done very fast and they did not really understand and weren't okay with the fact that I would very much be figuring a lot of things out as I go, that I would not be highly experienced in this area, that I would not really be able to deliver something quickly or something built really efficiently, that could be a real big problem. And I think that's something that when you're trying to figure out if a client is a good fit for you, it can be really tempting to just take on every project that comes your way. You know, you always want to be booked and busy. Obviously, making money is great, building up your portfolio is great. And sometimes taking a chance on work that is a little bit less familiar to you is totally great and fine. I don't get me wrong, I love doing that, but I only want to do that in the right scenarios. Let's say it's the type of brand and project that is a really good fit for me. Maybe they have a tighter budget and they're willing to compromise on the fact that I don't have the strongest skill set in this area. Maybe they have plenty of time. Maybe I actually just know them and we have a longer working relationship and they know how I tend to work and we can kind of figure things out as we go. There's plenty of reasons to dive into a project that is maybe not the place that I am most skilled in and most prepared for. But sometimes projects come along and you start to talk to the person, and as you figure out their needs, it's just like, oh, I could do this, but I don't think this project would be the most enjoyable for me based on my own skill set and what I enjoy doing. It's not maybe the best fit for the timeline that they have in mind. Sometimes the company, the sector that they're in, is also not a great fit for different reasons. There's plenty of reasons why a client cannot be a good fit for me, and vice versa. I also want to make sure I'm a good fit for them. I want to make sure that everyone's going to come out of this feeling good, getting the work that they need, and that I'm both going to have fun and do great work. I want to make sure that everyone can be happy in this scenario, because when I've worked at agencies in the past, which, don't get me wrong, I do still really love agency life. You just have to do whatever work comes your way, and plenty of times, in order to feed the beast, agencies will just say yes to every type of project that they get. And I understand why they do this. They have salaries they need to pay. I totally get that. But sometimes that means that projects that are not the best fit, that mismatch of your skills and the client's needs just aren't really gelling. I've had enough of those experiences in agency life and also in my own freelance life when I was much younger. I didn't think that much about client fit. I really just thought about, oh, I want to take any project on. And that's not the worst mindset, but I would just want the client to pick me. I just wanted to get them to say yes. And I've learned now that that's not always the best way to approach things. And I could also talk a lot about hunting for full-time jobs with this same point of view. I really love talking to friends when they're looking for new jobs or when they're considering leaving their old job. It really is a conversation I love having. I like talking about interviews. I like all that stuff a lot. So if you'd like me to chat about interviewing, finding jobs, all that stuff, full-time jobs, not freelance, I'd be happy to talk about that too, but not the conversation for today. Got a little off track there. After talking with clients, sometimes you realize that, it's just not going to be the right fit. And it's best to find someone that's actually a better fit for them. That's not me. Sometimes that's a full-time agency. Sometimes they need someone who's got a more robust set of skills. Sometimes it's just another freelancer. Sometimes it's a freelancer that's cheaper. Sometimes it's a freelancer that's more qualified. Sometimes a freelancer is more expensive because they're way more technical in a certain area that this person needs help with. And in this case, I don't think I'm a good fit as far as the skill set goes. I just think that it's going to end up being kind of rough for the client and for me because I'm going to have to get up to speed on a type of project I haven't done in a really long time and a type of project that I'm not that excited about doing. I kind of came to the conclusion today that I'm going to walk away from this project. I'm going to tell them no. And I always feel bad doing that. And sometimes it feels silly to say no. Even though I know it can be the right decision, I still doubt my own choices about like, should I have just done it? Maybe I was wrong about it. But honestly, at this point in my career, I have a pretty good gut sense about plenty of my client relationships at this point. I would not say I'm perfect by any means. Like, obviously, I can be wrong about things, but I've done enough different types of projects with different clients, both in-house and on my own, that I have a pretty good feeling for that before it gets started. And in this scenario, I just have a feeling that it's going to be quite difficult for everyone down the line. And I want to make sure that this person gets the right person. I don't want them to work with me and have a bad time and then like hate me or something. I love passing on people to other freelancers that I know are very talented. That's another thing I want to do is I want to make sure that they're working with someone who's good and responsible and can get the exact thing that they need done and do it well, do it on time, all of those things. I want them to find the right fit, especially if that's not me. So that's like just a little peek into the freelance designer decision-making process. It's a hard thing to do, but sometimes you just have to make those calls, and I think it's the right call. I also want to make sure that I'm taking on the projects that will help build up the type of work I want to keep getting moving forward. And in this example, like this is just not the type of project I want to be doing next year or the year after that. So in a lot of ways, it does make sense to kind of focus more on the work that I'm excited about, that is a good fit for my skill set, and say no to the ones that I just know I'm not going to be able to deliver properly on. I hope you enjoy this little day in the life of a freelancer conversation. Please let me know how you think about this if you're a freelancer. And if you're, especially like a small business client, I'd love to know what you think about this as well. Like, what is your decision process when you're looking to hire a designer to work with you? I'd love more insight on that too, because I want to make sure I can be the most helpful possible. And if you have insight into that, like please pass that along. I would love to hear it. Yeah, thanks for having a little designer chit chat with me. Like please let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Goodbye.